in YouTube.
Yeah.
Então, como podem ver, tenho hoje a grande estrela também, uma das estrelas do Porsche Supercup, ele que está, de facto, em estreia no 16 válvulas, finlandês, piloto da escola finlandesa Jukka, neste caso, Honkavuori, é a maneira, penso que disse bem, do nome dele. E esta entrevista, obviamente, só pode ser, de facto, em inglês. So, Jukka, before anything else, it was my mistake or it was okay the way I spell your name?
No, absolutely. You were correct. So it's not many people who can do it correctly. So congrats for doing it right.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for the chance for us to meet you, to understand and to know a little bit about yourself. You are one of the drivers from Finland, okay? And that's a nation that we all know that has produced a lot of good drivers, and you are one of them. So it is a great pleasure to have you here in 16 Válvulas from Portugal. So first question, why are you in motorsport? What has happened in your life for you to choose, or it was motorsport that had chosen you to do so? It was some from your relatives, parents, or why and where did you start in motorsport? Be the welcome, please.
So yeah, everything started actually when I was 5 years old. So I come from the very north of Finland, so it's not very usual to become a racing driver from there, especially in on a track. So if something, it would be a rally driver. But there are lots of jumpers, lots of cross-country skiers, as we are, let's say, the winter wonderland. So it's not usual. So, but I would say everything started in a way. My dad has always been very interested in motorsport, following a lot of motorsport, but he has never been racing by himself. He never had the chance. But when I was 5 years old, I remember still very vividly how my dad was driving me around, and then he said that we could visit one place, and if you like the place, we can come again. It happened to be the local go-kart track in our hometown in Rovaniemi.
Okay.
So that's how everything started. Then we were just doing some rounds with the go-karts, and it was love at first sight. So
Jukka, but that was not your idea. It was your father's idea. You never thought about doing so, or you enjoyed seeing in TV Formula One and the other Finnish drivers, like, as to say, the ones that we know. It was something that you never dreamed of, and it all started with your father?
No, actually, I was always, since I was at the age that I started to play with toys, with cars, of course. So I was always really interested. But I was 5 years old, so of course at that time you're watching TV, you're watching Formula One. So my dad knew that I was interested. So as he was driving me around, he took me to this go-kart track, and they wanted to see whether I'm big enough to fit in a go-kart. So he knew that I was interested. So he wanted to give me the chance to go and visit there. So that's how everything started. So, and I think this is what you pointed out, whether it was my dad's idea or my idea. It's a very important topic, actually, because to me, for everyone who is starting motorsport or any kind of sport, I think it's important for the parents to also give the freedom that it has to start from the person itself. So my dad never pushed me to do anything like that. So in some years when, in go-karting, of course, it meant a lot of sacrificing from my family as well, financially and everything. Every now and then he was saying to me that, it would have been easier if I took you just fishing and not go-karting. But of course, he's happy for me that the career took off in a way. But yeah, I would say it all started, of course, by showing my interest into cars, and then my dad was kind enough to take me to the go-kart track to give me the chance to see whether I like it or not. And like I said, then from there onwards, I wanted to be there every day. So that was that was a very beginning of it all.
And it was easy to continue in the go-karting there in Finland, as to say, with the sponsorships and all other drivers that wanted. But you have got to go abroad, I believe, in other countries that may you continue in motorsport. Is it correct?
Yeah, I mean, to find sponsorship has never been easy. And I come from, let's say, a middle-class family in a way. I have 3 big sisters, so we never had the money actually to really pursue the career. So at that time when I started with go-karts, I was driving go-karts until I was 15 years old, so 10 years. And I would say, like, before I moved into Formula cars, every year I was just grateful to be doing go-karting, to be racing, because my family didn't have the money really to fund it. And that's why also I was lucky enough. I come from Rovaniemi, like I said, and this is the city which is also known as the hometown of Santa Claus, as the official Santa Claus. And therefore, there is a company behind the let's say the theme, which is called Santa Claus Village, and they were having a big role in the very beginning of my career, because they were supporting me to give a little bit of financial help that I could continue. But of course, at that time we were doing national races, so luckily the budget was not very much, and whatever the budget was, we were doing absolutely the minimum, because every single euro was needed. But yeah, coming back to the beginning, I would say, like, the older I get, the more I appreciate the support from my family, because it's not the financial help that they were able to give me, in that it was more the time and the effort. Because without my dad and my parents, my sisters, um, letting me do this, it would not be possible. It wouldn't have not been possible. So, um, back then, I was going almost every single weekend somewhere to race around Finland. And Finland is quite a big country, especially when you're looking at the let's say the length of it. So we were traveling a lot by car, and going from race to race. And I think now, looking back at it, it was really fantastic time, because it's not only about racing, it's not only about the sport itself, but it's a great father and son time, because you are going through some good times, you're going through some bad times, and you learn from them. And it's not the wins that teach you, it's the losses.
And your sisters wouldn't be jealous, for example? They wanted all the attention, as to say, from your father?
Oh, I mean, my parents have always been good giving the attention to all of us. So, but they knew that, like, my sport was taking a lot of time, of course. So therefore, but they understood, So they let's say they were really kind enough to do that, and we have always been a very let's say close family. So therefore, everybody has been supporting each other. So yeah, coming back to the main thing, so how everything evolved. So yeah, I was doing go-karting for those 10 years, but then I came to the, let's say, crossroad in a way, because just before I turned 15, we had to make a decision whether to continue the career somehow abroad. So whether I should go and drive in Italy, for example, which is, let's say, the main place to go at that time if you're go-karting and if you want to be taking it to the next level in go-karting. But we didn't have such budget, no such money to do that. So therefore, we were really thinking that, is this it? Is this the end of the career? It has been great, but is this it? But then it was in 2005, so a few years earlier, when I got the chance to test Formula Ford. It was a very old Formula Ford from the year 97. And the owner of the car, 2 years later, 2 or 3 years later, said to me that, Jukka, I heard that you are thinking about continuing the go-karting career abroad, or maybe stopping, but why don't you think that maybe you can now move to Formula cars? I
And
would like
try it.
yeah, so that's what happened. We found a very, let's say, small amount of money, so I could do 2 races. And in the second race, I won the qualifying in the rain. So the owner of the car said that, wow, okay, it's very good. So I think you should push for sponsorship so that we can do the whole championship the following year. This was 2008. So then in 2008, I won the championship in Formula Ford with this same car from the year 97, when the other guys were running with cars which were from the year 2004, 2005, 2006. So I was running with the oldest car, but it was great, because this car was somehow I felt very comfortable with it, and it was fitting to the Finnish tracks very well. So that would say it was one of the biggest, let's say, I would say like a crossroads in my career, because it was so close to being the end, but at the same time it turned out to be the very beginning of, let's say, more professional career.
Where you found it, okay, I see. Jukka, is that just because we cannot? Unfortunately, I wanted to do it, but we cannot make it in the time that we want. But I have got to ask you, because it's important to talk about this season 2021.
Yeah.
But I want to, if it is possible, to resume what you have done since those times that you have been in Formula 4 until this year. Which are the best achievements or the biggest achievements in short time? Is that a chance for you to resume?
Yeah. I mean, after 2008, then I did 2009, the Formula Renault, and I won the Finnish championship with that. And then I was testing Formula Renault 3.5, the World Series. I was testing Formula 2. But then I also went to Formula Renault Eurocup, so I went more abroad. And the season was running very well, but unfortunately we had to stop the season roughly at the halfway because of no sponsorship.
Okay.
So again, the same fight. So I moved on. I was racing in India for 1 year, and over there we were B3, which was a good achievement. So step by step, we tried to keep the dream alive, I would say, even though with sponsorship it was tricky. That's why I said that it has always been a struggle. But yeah, so then in 2014, that was the year that I started to race with Porsche. So in the matter of fact, I already had worked with Porsche before that. So I started to work with Porsche as an instructor and in the events a lot since 2012. So in 14, it was, let's say, a natural choice to go into Porsche. And then I won the Finnish Porsche GT3 Cup. And then again, for a couple of years, I was struggling with budget. I was doing some races here and there, some 24-hour races. But I would say, like, again, the turning point with GT cars was in 2019. So that was when I did the, let's say, the debut in Supercup with one race, and also some more 24-hour races. And the following year, so in last year, 2020, we did the Dubai 24 hours, and we won our class, which was a great beginning of the season. And then I did also, for the first time, it was my debut full season in Porsche Supercup. So Porsche Supercup is obviously a very high level championship, as well as with the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. So it's very important to keep on working and step by step try to get towards the front, and that's what we are doing right now.
Yes, and that's my question. Obviously, is about what do you have to say about this season, because I thought that it has already ended the season 2021 in the Porsche Supercup, right? That's my idea. Okay.
Supercup season has already ended. It ended here in Monza. I'm again in Monza now. Actually, tomorrow we have the official free practice as well as the qualifying for the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany, which is also having a race over here. So for Carrera Cup, we still have, after Monza, we have Sachsenring as well as Hockenheim. So we have 2 more weekends after this weekend.
And about this season in the Porsche Supercup, it was positive, as to say, middle of the package. What's your opinion about your season, your own season?
For Supercup this season, we actually didn't do the full season, so we were doing only like 3 races as a guest. So that was a decision in a way that we focus more into Carrera Cup this year with the new car we are developing, finding the setup with the new car with this team. So therefore, I didn't have really too many, let's say, you always have a goal to win, of course, when you go to race, but I was also realistic that since we are not doing the full season in Supercup, let's just try to really develop and get as much data as possible, and of course push for good results so that we are evolving from there. So from that point of view, I was really happy. We had some bad luck, we had some technical difficulties, but especially now when we were doing Red Bull Ring as well as now in Monza with the Super Cup, we saw that we have a good pace. In qualifying, we were very close to the top guys, and in the race, actually, my fastest lap time was almost matching with the fastest lap time of the race. So we saw that pace-wise, speed-wise, we are getting there. And in Super Cup, it's very tight. In Monza, also in qualifying, we had 20 cars within 1 second. So
yeah, I saw it.
the level high. So therefore, yeah, from that point of view, I'm happy because we are evolving with the speed. But of course, result-wise, you are never happy before you win, right? So that's why.
Obviously.
And now for the Carrera Cup, of course, we are now trying to push to get the maximum out of the races that are left.
Is going better the Porsche Carrera Cup there in Germany, the German Carrera?
Yeah, so here we have now, yeah, for me, I'm doing the full season in the German Carrera Cup. And over there, the level is similar. In fact, in the matter of fact, we actually have almost the same drivers in both championships. And it tells a lot about the level, actually, that, the guys who are driving with me, such as Harry King, for example. Harry King was the British Carrera Cup champion from last year. But he's there, like, I'm fighting a lot with him in the races. We are in the similar positions. There was Tio Elinas that I had a good battle now in Monza, who is also former British Carrera Cup champion. So there are lots of great drivers, really, really good drivers. And that's why also sometimes it's funny to also think in a way that if you are in the top 10, for example, you're really happy about it. And if you would be doing a national championship and you are saying that I'm happy because I'm top 10, it doesn't sound good. But when you say that you get into top 10 in Porsche Supercup, it's a good result. But you should never be happy before you win. That's what I always say. So therefore, you have to keep on pushing, but you also need to be realistic with yourself. That you have to be happy when you see that you are evolving, taking steps forward in these championships.
That's it.
So that's coming to the point that the goals for this year, of course, would be to just take all the time steps forward to evolve, to get closer to the top, so that we are again more prepared for the following season.
Okay, Jukka, it's obvious that I have got to do this question is about your connection or your experience here in Portugal. Did you have already tried our tracks here, Estoril or even Algarve? And opinion then, the roller coaster, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. I have been in not so long time ago. I was in Portimao.
That's it.
Yeah, I was there with an event, so I got the chance to drive on the track, not only with the Cup car but also with the fully electric Porsche Taycan. I love the track. It's beautiful elevation changes. Yeah, great track. I would love to see that on our race calendar one day as well. But let's see what happens.
And the weather was positive, or you had a bad day at the office?
I would say we had a nice mix. So
Okay.
We had a game, but also dry conditions, and that's the way I like it. It's nice to have a bit of both.
You have had the chance to know a little bit better from Algarve, the place where the track is. You have the chance to see the views and the beaches and all the things, or not quite at that time?
Beaches. Yeah, we had a chance to a little bit circle around, but I would say I have to come back just to have a bit of extra time to look around. I know Portugal is very, very beautiful. I have been in Lisbon also, and Lisbon is, such a beautiful city. So yeah, I would say Portugal in general is worth to see. It's worth to visit, but I have to reserve a bit more time next time there.
I'm sure. Jukka, for the last question, I want to know which are your plans for the next future, as to say, when you end these two competitions. At the moment, you have already ended one, but in 2022, which are your plans? What are you planning to do next year and the other years?
Yeah, I mean, I think now, as I said, we are now trying to just develop as a team and trying to take steps forward. So therefore, naturally, for next year, hopefully I can do the whole season in Supercup. I haven't, let's say, signed any deal yet, but I would say that we are very close to having everything sealed. So therefore, even though it's not officially anything announced yet, but I can tell you that the plan is to do Supercup full season. but also additionally maybe Porsche Carrera Cup again, maybe something also in the United States. So there are still some things to be finalized, but they are the plans. So obviously Super Cup would be the main target, and then to do something additionally on the side would be very, very good. So let's see what we can finalize. But then for the future ahead, of course, now since I have been doing already some 24-hour races in Dubai as well as Barcelona, I would like to also see myself in the future doing the World Endurance Championship. Le Mans is a big goal. So Le Mans is like a dream come true, of course. So I had the chance last year to drive on the full circuit of Le Mans because we had the Carrera Cup race there just before the actual 24-hour race. So yeah, for a while I felt like I am the kid again, 5 years old, because since then I have had a few dreams, and one of them is of course Le Mans, and one of them is driving in Monaco. And unfortunately this year I didn't have the chance to drive there, so it's a dream which has not been achieved yet. But if next year I do the Super Cup full season, then hopefully I will get a chance to drive in Monaco as well. So we always have to have dreams, and you keep pushing for the dreams, and these are now the steps forward that I'm dreaming about, what I'm working hard for. So let's keep pushing.
And are there any competition that you are curious about it for doing some races, for example, or other, as to say, different than the common, as to say, for example, electrical races, rally to return from your bases? Are there one competition that you are curious about it? That could be a surprise?
Yeah, I mean, like rally has always been, let's say, close to my heart as well, because in my hometown we actually have the Arctic Lapland Rally. So therefore, of course, I have been since a very young boy. I have been there often watching it, and sometimes working over there, sometimes waving the flags. So therefore, of course, I would love to do that rally one day. But also like Radical, for example, I would love to do some races over there. I know that in Middle East, for example, there's a very nice Radical championship. So to do things like that on the side would be, of course, great. But I would say that the main focus is, of course, in these cup cars, in GT cars in the future. I would love to drive the RSR, 911 RSR, and doing the Le Mans 911 RSR is would be a dream come true.
Okay, we will keep in touch, and we want to know all these news and the news that you can give us in the next future, as to say. For the moment, I have to appreciate and have to thank you for the chance to meet you and to know a little bit about Jukka. Okay, and I wish the. I'm sorry, didn't understand.
No, it was my pleasure.
Okay. Wishing the best for the rest of the season, the Carrera Cup, right there, the Germany Carrera Cup. And I hope to see you again next year, but in full season with the Porsche Supercup. Enjoy. Thank you very much, and good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.